Hi, I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to Sunny Day Stamping. I'm Julie Baca. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a card, but we're really going to be talking about 3 tips on how to create texture in your card, which is automatically going to create some interest without having a cut and emboss machine. Embossing machines, you can buy folders for them that create patterns and textures in your card, but it's a little expensive. So, or if you're a beginner stamper, you may not have all the things. So it is like one of my favorite things to take a card that I like in my head and pare it down, so you don't need many supplies, because I want you to be able to make these at home. So let's get started. I am so geeked about this card. I just love it. There's just so much going on, so many textures, so many angles that just make it so interesting. Isn't that what we want when we make a handmade card? We want it to really stand out, and there are just some simple things you can do to make that happen. Now, the first tip that I'm going to share with you is to create a cool background. This is not patterned paper. This is a stamp. Check this out. It's a ginormous stamp. Don't worry, I got some tips on how to do it. But this little gem was hidden in the catalog, and I didn't spot it until the other day. And I thought, wow, this has so many possibilities, because you can do tone on tone. You could do black stripes on paper and color them in. Like, wow, you can use this for holiday cards. Anyway, I'll just stop jabbering about it. I thought this was so cool. So we're going to create our background with this, which automatically makes it look textured. So you're going to need to cover up your workspace, because this is a big stamp. And so I'm going to use the grid paper. I'm actually going to push it up like here, because we're actually going to use these lines on here to help line up this big stamp. This is a ginormous stamp. And when it comes, the sticker is not on it. And so sometimes the sticker can be put on just a little cattywampus, which is what I did when I put mine on. But so I want to show you how to do this. When you have your stamp, put it on so that it is lined up with your block. And then we are going to test it. We're going to ink it up. And I find the easiest way to ink up a huge stamp like this is to take the stamp pad to the stamp and just pounce it up and down like this until you have coverage everywhere. Now, you don't want to mush it on there, because we don't want to get ink in these recessed squares, because then if we push too hard, it's going to get on our paper. Now, grab your piece of cardstock, but don't cut it to the exact size. Make sure that it's a little bit bigger. I'll show you why. Now, we're going to take your stamp, and we are going to pretend that our paper is right here, and we're going to try to line it up. And what we're going to do is we're going to line up our block along these edges like this. Now, this is only if you're like extra perfectionist like me. If you're not, man, just go stamping that puppy. So what we're going to do is have our stamp right there, so we can see if we stamp straight. And by goodness, I did. Look, it's right on that line. And this is going to help us know exactly where to put our paper so that the whole thing is going to be covered up, because I want this line to be like, I don't want this line to be starting over here and have like dead space on my paper. So I'm going to cover it up like that. And now I'm going to do it again. Flip this puppy over, line it up with the lines, and then push. Okay, and now you can see, check that out. It's all nice and lined up. Now, I left my paper bigger than the stamp on purpose because I want to cut it down. So if I had misaligned this plaid stamp, I know I can cut it off. So you see how there's like dead space at the top there. I know when I cut this down to the measurement, I want to cut that end off. So let's do that right now. So you can get all the measurements for this card on my website. My email subscribers will get this print and make project sheet that you can print out and have right by you. If you'd like that, go ahead and sign up for my email list. Now, this piece needs to be 5 1/4 by 4. And so you can see I'm going to make sure I'm cutting off that section that I don't want. And now perfection, right? So 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to see which end do I need to cut off. They both look great, so it doesn't really matter. And there we go. So now we've made our background background piece, now we're going to stamp this front section. And so you're going to grab a piece of, I've got the measurements on the project sheet or on my website. I'm using Very Vanilla, but you could definitely use white if you wanted to. Now we're going to use this stamp again, and you can see it has ink on it from last time. So you want to stamp it on your scratch paper and try to get get some off of there, and then just take your Simply Chamois and wipe it off before we go to a different color. So now the next color we're going to use is Lost Lagoon, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to ink it up all over. But for interest, I want it to be the blah, blah, blah. I want the lines to be slanted on this one. So we're going to line our block up just the same, but we're going to rotate our paper instead. And there, isn't that so cool? Now we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the stamping done that we need for this card. And I'm going to be using the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle. This is a punch and stamp bundle that goes together. This hexagon cuts these out, and all these things fit in here, which is awesome. Well, actually, no, not all these things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those all fit in the hexagon. Wait a minute. Does this fit? I gotta check this out. Yep, I was wrong. Even this fits in there. Okay, this is even more awesome than I thought. All of these words fit in the hexagon, and you can punch them out. I love punches. They are quick, they are easy, they are less expensive than investing in a big machine. If you are a new stamper, man, this is a fantastic set. So I'm actually gonna start with the envelope because I hate to forget to stamp on the envelope, so I like to do it first. And I'm just gonna take a few flowers out of this set, or one stamp out of there, and I'm gonna throw a little heart on the back. I mean, I feel like that's all it needs to stand out from all the junk mail that somebody gets in the mail. So you can either stamp this first and then punch it out, or punch it and then stamp it. But with this stamp set, I kind of thought it was easier for me to stamp it first. But I have a tip, because I noticed, you can see these are very delicate and can be put on the stamp block in a different orientation, which is actually super cool, but not super cool if you're trying to punch it out. So, because we need to fit in the punch. So what I found was easiest is kind of bend it so that the middle is sticking out, and then just touch that to your block and then set it down. And then it's going to be in the perfect shape of the punch. Now this one, there are two hexagons. This one is definitely more sturdy, and these are just delicate little dots. So you're going to want to use light pressure when you are stamping them. So like, don't just mush it down, because then the dots are gonna like wiggle and smush, and you just won't get a good impression. So just be real delicate, and it'll turn out perfectly. The other thing I really like to do is stamp on this Stampin' Pierce mat. This is only like $5 or $6, totally worth it. Especially if you have a lot of these clear stamps, it just gives them a better impression. And it also is another way to protect your work surface, so that's nice and easy too. So now you're gonna grab your punch and flip it over so that you can see where to line this up, and make sure you're using a scrap piece of paper that's longer so you can grab onto the end of it and really navigate it in here. And once I think I've got it where I want it, I hold it down, and then I double check myself, and I can see, nope, I don't have it lined up right. So then I move it over a skosh, double check again, and when I'm sure, then I punch it. Well, I was yakking away so much. I stamped that in the wrong color. I definitely wanted the pink letters to contrast with whatever I want that to contrast more. So I restamped that. Okay, let's do the inside, and just grab another sentiment out of that stamp set. This can be really simple, and I love this little heart. I gotta put a little heart there. And then you're gonna grab this paper, and we're gonna put one heart in the bottom right square. So we're all done stamping, but I just wanted you to notice we're only using 3 colors. And for all the examples that I'm going to show you, I'm only using a total of 5 colors. So you can make this with just very limited supplies. Okay, tip number 2. Now we can attach this to our card base like so, which is that's actually really adorable. I really like that. gosh, I'm having all kinds of ideas of how to just use this with a little sentiment and you're done. But okay, we're gonna make this card more fancy. To age this card, to give it that texture, grab your paper snips and open them up, and you're gonna just drag them down the side of your paper. Now you can do just a little bit like that, or you can get really aggressive with it and have those fibers really pulling away. If you accidentally cut it, that's totally fine. Mash up those corners if you want. It just depends on the distressing that you want, you know, what kind of look. Now, when I made my first couple of these, I was just really careful with them, and I actually liked it better when my paper was, whoa, now that's way too much, but we're okay. I liked it better when the paper was just more wrinkled, and even a little bent, I think just looked really cool. So grab your card base and run your bone folder on it so it lays down nice and flat. And now we're gonna glue this to the front of the card, making sure that your heart is in the bottom, right? So it's not upside down. And then when you go to glue it, don't put it all the way to the edge. Put glue just in the middle. Oh my goodness, you guys, with the glue. Let's see. Why do I have glue problems when I get on camera? You know what? It's probably because I don't put the cap back on. Good night. Okay, I am actually glad this happened because I'm going to show you how I fix this problem. When there's like a glue booger on there and you get it out of there and it's still, your glue is still not coming out because you left the top open because you were making a bunch of cards, which is what just happened to me. I keep a little pin in my drawer here, and I'm just going to insert it in and pull it out. Now, for a long time, I was just running this under the sink with water, but this glue is so super sticky. It was getting all over me, and I was like, that was just a pain. So grab your silicone craft mat and fold it over the pin and pull it out. Now your pin is going to be clean. You may have to do it twice. And all the stickiness is on here. It's going to dry on here, and then you'll be able to rub it off. So nothing is sticky, and I'm going to put this directly back into my drawer right now. Okay, back to what I was saying. Put glue only in the center of this card because we want these edges to be, you know, textured up. We want them to come off the paper a bit. Not only is it going to look cool, but it's going to create that shadow, which just makes it so much more interesting. And you can even go back through and mash it up a little more if you want. So now you're going to take your plaid piece, and we're going to punch out a hexagon right in the center. So you can definitely, if you don't want to do this step, you could definitely just stick it right on there, stick it with some dimensionals. But I just wanted it to be different. So I wanted to, instead of popping this up with dimensionals, I wanted this to be depressed. So let me show you a trick on how to do that. You're going to line up your paper. So this is in the middle, but you want it, so I shove it all the way in, and I'm feeling on this side, either side, to make sure this is in the center. And then I'm gonna pull it back and then see where the edge of the paper is. And then I'll push it back in just a little bit, and that's gonna help me find where to punch it so that it's kind of at the top. Now this we're not gonna use for this card, but I thought the holidays are coming, save these, and you can punch them. So I would punch out another one. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So punch out another hexagon and grab this little for you out of here to put on here. And then we need that little heart. Where'd it go? I love this little heart. It's just so cute, right? And now put these two pieces together and grab a paper punch. And then you can feed some thread through that hole and then separate them. You've got a cute little tag for a birthday gift to go with this birthday card, or make them in holiday, whatever. Okay, wow, I got so sidetracked. I'd like to say that this only happens on camera, but no, ask my family. I'm like always all over the place. Anyway, okay, so now I've got a tip for getting this on here in the correct spot, because it's gonna be, you know, it's going to be depressed. This is going to be stuck on here, and this is going to be popped up with dimensionals. So you can either put this, if you don't like it cattywampus, you can have this straight, or you can tilt it, which is the way I did it. Now we're going to put glue on this piece right now, and use this as a guide. We're going to sink this in here just like a puzzle piece. Hold this down with these fingers and pull this back out. And this is going to be in the exact spot that we need it to. So what we're going to do is we're going to add dimensionals on the back of this. So this is popped up and our greeting is actually depressed in there. Tip number 3 for adding texture. Did I tell you tip number 2? Tip number 2 was the was the scissor thing. Tip number 3 is to add some texture. Any ribbon will do. This ribbon is like extra special, very texturized, lots of fibers coming out, and looks awesome with the crumb cake base. So I've got a tip for how to add this on. So you're gonna, on your grid paper, or my grid paper is not here right now. I'm gonna line this up on the line of my grid paper. And then I know I want my ribbon to go right here. So I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna put it on top of my ribbon like that. Then I'm gonna fold this over and I'm gonna grab myself some tape and I'm just gonna tape that down. And now I'm going to kind of guess, how much do I need to fold over here? Like about right here? Yep. And then you cut it and fold this over and tape that in place. Now you can check if it's in the right spot. If it's not, you can push it up a little bit like that. And now let's add some dimensionals. Now for the dimensionals, you're going to want to put some extra ones on here. And you're going to want them here and here. Now depending on how you punch that, these dimensionals will fit or they will not fit. That is hanging off just the slightest bit, which perfectionist me, that is going to bug me. So you can either just peel it up a little bit and trim it off with your scissors, or what I like to do is, did you know that you can use the edge of your Stampin' Dimensionals? Like, this is made out of the same material, no reason to waste it, and it's skinnier. So I just snip off a little bit, and this is going to fit perfectly along this skinny edge there. And now we'll add some more. Just use your fingernails or take your pick tool to take off these Stampin' Dimensionals, and then you just center it up right over that greeting. Oh no, it was off a little bit. There we go, there we go, there we go. So doesn't that look cool? So now just add the inside and you've got a fantastic card that will be great for birthdays. Let me show you the rest of the things. Using the sentiments in there, you can do one for weddings. And this is in Night of Navy. You can do a sympathy card. This is in Old Olive. Kind of went crazy on the hearts on that one. I'm not sure I like that. And then this one is just a love you one. Oh no, this was a sympathy also. So anyway, you can just have fun with mixing and matching these colors to make some fantastic cards. If you want to make your cards look just like mine, you can purchase the supplies right from my blog post. There's a link in the description that'll take you directly over there where you can get the measurements, you can see additional photos just to give you ideas, and you can purchase the supplies right from there. Now, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified every time one of my videos come out. I put out a new video every Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. Have a sunny day.